Good morning and welcome to Costa Rica Real Estate and Investments. I'm your host, Richard Beckson. Today's exciting day, we've got Pedro Ulibarri, owner and also general manager for Super Bloque Construction here in Costa Rica. Super Bloque is a company that does everything from architectural engineering plans all the way through to the actual delivery of the actual finished project. So this is going to be interesting talking to him. I've known him for quite a while, and it's interesting because their product actually speeds up the building process by about 25% because the blocks that they use are actually a little bit bigger. So they kind of just all kind of swap together. Remember, if you have questions for Pedro, all of his contact numbers are in the description below. But let's get straight into it, guys. Good morning, Pedro. How are you doing?
Very well, Richard. And you? How are you?
Very, very good. Thanks very much for joining us on the podcast this morning. I know it's going to be an interesting one. You and I have known each other for quite some time, and I know that you guys do a great job over there at Super Bloque. It's been the past year has been absolutely crazy. And I mean, you've lived in Costa Rica your whole life, but I mean, what has surprised you recently, Pedro, if you don't mind me asking?
Sure. Well, the most surprising thing in Super Bloque has been having the best 2 months in a row of best sales in the last 13 years.
Wow.
It has been surprising how the people is really, despite different from what we usually hear from the news, that everything is locking down and some business are down. We have been having our best months in the year, and the people want to build their houses. They want to have their own private space for the new life they're waiting after this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's been a buildup of well, we know that there's been a buildup of cash, in people's bank accounts. I think I saw yesterday there's like $2.3 trillion supposedly waiting behind some dam to be released in the US of people saving stuff. So, I'm sure a lot of that's going to trickle down here to Costa Rica. It sounds like it already is. But one of the things I always wonder, Pedro, is this. I was always surprised when I lived in the States for a while that they use a lot of timber stroke, kind of wood to build, where here in Costa Rica is everything appears to be done in kind of, more kind of cement blocks and cement. Why is that?
Well, I think it's by two different reasons. One is the geographical position and the natural resources we have. We don't have that much land to have some wood in the country, so we have to import it. The majority of the wood we use, even in construction, is imported, so it's expensive. And also, the Costa Rican people feel they are safer in a concrete block construction. And but primarily, I think is because of our location. Also, we are very used to have earthquakes and pretty hard earthquakes. So the concrete blocks, they are more safe for what that's the perception of the person in the people in Costa Rica. And we have a lot of resources in rocks and gravel and everything, so we can build the concrete blocks easily without any like importing too much things. And we have two factories that produce cement in Costa Rica, so and the people like to touch the wall and feel it like very hard,
Yep.
I think that's both the two reasons we use that.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it also helps with the climate here as well. I mean, especially if you're building in the beaches, just because, kind of, I always get the sense that a wood house would be very, very hot and very, very warm, whereas a thick cement house would somewhat, conserve the cold inside.
Yes, and also on that matter, also the maintenance is cheaper with the concrete block than with the wood.
Okay.
And we are in a tropical forest. The wood is expanding and contracting more than in the U.S. The U.S. maybe is, and also the maintenance network that the U.S. has around the wood is completely full. But here in Costa Rica, you can't find someone that can put a bubble around your house and make a treatment for the wood.
Yeah, and I always say that, the Costa Rican rainforest here, or just just Costa Rica wants everything back. So it's always trying to take it back, whether that's a wood house or concrete, like it wants everything back, I think, especially in the southern zones, I don't think people really understand is just how quickly stuff grows there. I mean, like here at the moment, I need to cut my grass every week.
Yeah, and also if you have a property at the beach or the south part of Costa Rica, in I don't know 2 months, if you are not at the place, everything will be rusted, and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you probably need
also
to
the
get,
appliance, everything.
yeah, you probably need to get a good property management company, that's for sure, to take care of it for you. But let's
And
just talk
use
about, let's,
quality materials.
yeah, put everything in plastic. I actually saw a hotel once that was built in plastic. It looked terrible. But like the whole hotel was built in plastic, which is really not like what Costa Rica is about at all. But yeah, anyway.
Uh,
Well, let's talk about building here in Costa Rica. I mean, a lot of people, the industry is moving pretty quickly. There's not tons of availability now of finished products. So a lot of people are looking to buy land and also build stuff. I mean, just give a general idea to people that are looking to build here in Costa Rica or thinking of what's the process to go through and who are the people involved.
okay, well, if you're buying land, the process can be diverted into sites depending of the size of the land. If you're buying a small land to build your house, it's a simple process. If you're buying land to build a development and you are trying to build more than 1,000 square meters, it's going to be a different process because of the ambient. Setena is the ambiental agency here in Costa Rica. So if it's a small project, you don't have to do anything like related to the ambient, to the environment.
Yep.
And if you're doing more than 1,000 square meters, you have to do a process that will take maybe 3 more months, and you can spend 5, 10, $15,000 independent. But other, if taking out the environmental side, depending of the size, all the projects have to do mostly the same process. You have to first hire an architectural or engineer that can help you with the anteproyecto, how you say that?
Plans?
Yeah, like the plans, but yeah, you take the plans. You have to locate the property in the area to see what kind of regulations it has. So you make the plans. You hire the if it is a small project, like very small, 70 square meters, you just need the architecture or the engineer. If it is a bigger project, and usually they are bigger than that, you have also to hire an electrical engineer. So you have those two professionals helping you decide the design and all the specifications. You make the plans. You go to this engineering society of CFIA in Costa Rica, and the professional put the plans on the system. That is a centralized system, and they have all the entities or government in this app, and they ask anything they want on the plans. So after that, you go to the municipality to get the construction permits. Anything between will be asked by the entities. So if you are building a development, you will need to go through an entity that's called IMBU. If you are looking for a small project, you just go to the CFIA and the municipality, and that's it. It's very easy. In that process, from beginning the plans to having the construction permit, it can take maybe, well, let's say that before getting to the municipality, it can be like 1 month and a half.
Oh, wow.
And and then in the municipality is sometimes the longest part of it, because of the bureaucracy of the municipalities. But it can take 1 more month. Maybe you can be in 2.5 months, 3 months, having everything ready to start building your house
Wow.
or
I
your
knew
project.
someone told me the other day that they got their municipality approval in 2 days. It was something in COVID. It was like just at the start of COVID that there was a complete mess, and he doesn't know how, but he got his approval in 2 days. This was like back in March, 2020. But yeah, no, typically that's not normal. Usually it's kind of, I suppose, anything from 1.5 to, I suppose, 2 months, right, for the municipality.
Yes, well, it supposedly is the longest it can take is 1 month,
Right.
because there is a law that if after 1 month if you don't have any news,
Okay.
you can proceed. So that's like the month, the time we plan. But yeah, sometimes 1 day before the month end, they send all the questions and everything they need. So they
Okay.
have another month. So it can take maybe 2 months, but you sometimes you get luck and you have it in 1 week or 2 days, like your friend.
Yeah.
So that's why we can't assure how long you're going to take in that part.
Yeah.
The part on the CFAI, the engineering, how you say,
College, like the
what
College
call
of
it?
Engineers.
Yes,
Yep.
in that part is very quick. That is like 3 days, 5 days most,
Wow.
and you have a lot of different um, entities in that process. But for a project that is going to be your investment, maybe 1 month in the municipality is not too much. And
Okay.
we're talking about housing. If we are doing project development, it can be because you have to ask for the water, you have to ask for the electricity, you have to ask for the environmental approval, and everything. It can be maybe 1 year, 1.5 years.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on that in a minute because I know that you have quite a bit of experience developing actual projects, residential and also condominium and commercial projects here, and I'll touch on that in a minute. But just to kind of, I suppose, summarize is once you've bought your piece of land, you hire an architect or engineer and engineer, or you don't need an architect if it's small enough, you can just get an engineer.
If it is depending on the size, is it a small size, like below 200, 300 square meters, you can ask for an architect or an civil engineering.
Okay, so either or.
Either, yeah. But if it's bigger or you need like an structural design,
Yep.
you may need both.
Okay, great. And then
You
basically
can go only with the civil engineer, any size.
Yep.
No, but if but you can go if it's small square meters, only an architect.
Okay.
But usually we mix both.
Yeah.
The architect makes the pretty design, and the structural engineer make the builder safe.
Yeah, I think it's good to have both personally. In my experience, it's always good to have both. So basically you get your architect engineer, they do the plans, they submit it to the College of Engineers here. It's very quick to come back. Once you have it, you then take it to the municipality. The municipality have theoretically up to a month to approve it. Once they approve it, you now have your approval process. Basically, you now have your permits to build. Now, but you also need to find a construction company, right?
Right, and I recommend finding at least 3 construction companies that can bid for your project.
And how would you go about finding a good one, Pedro? Would you ask about on Facebook for recommendations for people that have built? Would you ask the engineer? I mean, what's your suggestion?
Well, we in Super Bloque, we recommend companies that are already have passed some process with us. So
Yep.
they are like our recommendation. And we also, I also personally recommend you can find someone through your reliable sources. Your friends, your college, through the engineer or the architect that is making the plans. If you already know that person and they have been doing a good job, they maybe have a recommendation for you. And whatever the recommendation they are going to give you, you can go to the engineering college and find if they are in the engineering college. So
Okay.
you can go to the CFIA.FR, I think is the webpage. If not, you can find it. And you can go and search for the name of the company to see that they are, how you say, subscribe
Yep.
to the college. That makes you that gives you a legitimacy
Legitimacy.
to go.
Yep.
See, and you can go and ask for the College of Engineers to help you if there is a problem on the construction, if the company is under the college, submitted in the college. So I recommend doing that, and also going and visit the construction that the company has done. You can ask for the companies that are bidding for your construction to show them 2 or 3 buildings.
Yeah. I think that that's smart to see some of the work that they've done before, just because, again, it's typically you need to be looking at the quality and also the finishes of the work that people are doing here, just to make sure that you are getting a great product. Now, let's just talk about, how long has Super Bloque been in business, Pedro?
We have been in business for 24 years now.
24 years. Wow, congratulations. Yep. You must be doing a good job if you've been in the business for 24 years. So, how would you describe what Super Bloque does?
Sorry?
How would you describe what Super Bloque does? What part of the process do you guys manage? What is I suppose, the benefits of using you guys?
Okay, yeah, well, we help primarily what we are doing is helping the families to get their house built, and we are helping the investors doing their project. Um, we help them. We can do. We don't. We help them to from what they when they have the land. They
Yep.
are we when they have the land, we help them from doing the design, helping them deciding what kind of project they want, and we design all the plans, we make all the permits, all the uh, relationship with the government and the entities and the municipalities, and after that we also we give them the materials to build the house, all the blocks and the steel to build the house, and we can help them also in the process in the banks. If it is a family, a small only the house, we can help them also guiding them through the banks, and we also help them guiding them through the constructors,
Okay.
the building companies. We don't build, we don't give also credits. We just have our mission is to help to facilitate all the process until they get the construction. So what we actually sell to the client, because something is a service we give,
Sure.
and what we sell actually is the design and the materials to build the house or the project.
Okay.
If the person doesn't have a design, if the person has a design and they have also already the construction permits, we can just sell the materials. But the materials is not only the materials, is that we have a system that we designed here in Costa Rica 23 years ago. We started with one design, and then we uh, improve it in 2002. And we have a design that is a big block. It is a 90 centimeters long block that is open on the end of the block. And what maybe it's just a small thing that, but when you have one block open and the other one comes on the side, it makes like a column
Yep.
that is made out of, around is a concrete block. So inside is the steel rebars or a steel structure, and we put the concrete in the middle of each block. So each block is going to be attached in a concrete reinforced with rebar or a concrete structure. So all the structure of the construction is going to be tied together.
Yep.
And that if the because of the block is very is long, it makes you the construction faster, and also you spend less concrete inside the blocks, but the resistance of the walls and the construction uh, is the same or higher than the regular concrete block that you find in Costa Rica. You know, we have done some very nice testing on the UCR, the University of Costa Rica labs, they call NANAME, and we have testing for 24 years our
Wow.
system. Now, and also we have just last year we put into our selection of systems one that is close to the regular concrete block that we use in Costa Rica, but it's 45 centimeters long, but it's not open on the sides, it's with the walls,
Yep.
and you have to put the steel rebars inside the concrete block.
Okay.
And also it works very good. And the good thing about the three systems that we have is that it's a modular construction system. So you can have your plans and you can build your house already from the design, thinking that you're going to have a modular house. So the windows and the doors and everything can be designed before construction, because the system is going to fit, and you're going to have the openings right to have the windows in place, the doors in place, and you don't have to be at the site building everything personally.
So,
So it's
I mean, just to kind of summarize there, I mean, it sounds like Super Bloque, you guys do everything from once the client has the land, everything from that to helping them get their final product. You don't construct, you don't actually do the building, but you do all the plans, the municipalities, you do all that work for them, help them also find a construction company. And then you guys basically also build, as you mentioned there, kind of this modular house based on the design that they have, so that it's a lot quicker to I suppose, a lot quicker and a lot more efficient more economical to actually put together the house a lot quicker than waiting, than using kind of, I suppose, the blocks that people typically use to build houses in concrete here.
Yes, right. We try to minimize desperdicio, the residuals on the waste, yes, on the construction. So everything from our plant goes specifically cut and built to the house that we are sending. Yep. So we send everything that, like the vertical steel is going to on the height that is the process the project needs. The concrete blocks are cut on the size that the project needs also. So it's going to be a faster, cleaner, and cheaper construction.
Wow. Well, that's all. I mean, how much quicker do you think it is, Pedro, to use your process than a regular construction process?
It can be like 40% less time on the construction of the building of the walls.
Yeah.
The rest is going to be pretty much the same if you're using the same system, like the roof and the decoration and finishes. Yep. But in the walls is going to be like 40% less, sometimes even 50% less.
So, I mean, just roughly, I mean, how long using a normal, structural process with normal blocks would it take to build a house, do you think? 6 months, 9 months?
The complete process, if it's a house like a 200 meters a square meter house, is going to be like maybe even 5-6 months. And you can have like 4 months.
Okay. Awesome.
We have some clients even that they have done it in 3 months.
Wow. Well, I mean, I think that's important because I asked Melissa Santana the other day, who is an engineer, what's the most expensive part of the construction process that people don't understand? And it's actually the labor, because the social costs here. So if you're able to reduce it by 1 to 2 months, I mean, you make that saving on that labor, which is huge.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of saving on the labor, and also the one is the labor on the cost, and also is the financials, because it's not the same like the rental or the financial institution giving you the payment of what that month. Yeah. So you have two different savings that you can have, and also it's not only the cost of the labor, it's also that in construction the labor sometimes is very problematic, or you have sometimes persons that you pay them and they don't go to the next week to work and all that. So less time on that kind of labor is also less headaches, more peace.
Yeah, I mean, that, construction's never easy here, but it sounds like, the experience that I've had with people that have used Super Bloque here, it's been a very quick and very efficient process, because you guys basically hold their hand from start to finish, and you've been in the business for quite a while. But I mean, in your process, when you're building a house, is there something you guys, whether the architects or engineers, typically recommend clients have in their house, whether that be an amenity or something structural?
Sorry, I didn't get that one. Sorry.
No worries. Is there something that you always recommend to people, that when they're building a house that maybe they don't want, but they should really have done to their house? I mean, especially because a lot of the people listening are probably doing houses at the beach. Is there something that you typically recommend that they do? I don't know whether it's like long eaves so that the sun doesn't hit the windows, double pane windows so that, it keeps the house cool. I mean, what suggestions would you give to people that are looking to build at the beach?
Well, if they're building at the beach, one thing is the hardest thing is when they have the land and they want the house looking to one part of the on one side, and then you see that the sun is not helping that. Yeah. And the architect wants to move the house because, like in the design, you need it's preferably the sun doesn't get you like in the sunset in front of the house in the windows, primarily, but when you really want the view and you are in that location and you want that view and you want the sunset, we recommend having the protection on the windows. So because you are going to have an air conditioning if you're going to have an air conditioning on the house, so you need a good windows. Not only like the regular aluminum windows, you need like the window with the glass that is double-sided. Yep. And so they can have the cool on the inside, and you can see also the sunset if you want that. And also, if you are not using air conditioning, you will want higher ceilings and also windows to open to have cross winds all over the house. I think that's the most thing that the primary thing that is going to be in the beach is the climate inside the house.
Yeah. Well, I think that that's important, because I mean, typically sometimes when you construct, people do not even think about what they call bioclimatic design, of where the sun comes up and goes down. And you mentioned something great there, which is, if you are going to be in a very hot area, having high ceilings is going to help you keep the place cool as well. So I think that's great advice. Well, Pedro.
Also, you can also isolate the roof, and also you have to check on the side that you are, if you are building in the beach, very far away from the city, just to have a lot of off-grid technology like solar heating of the water and anything you want or you can.
Which I mean is very inexpensive here in Costa Rica. A solar water heater here is very inexpensive, and it heats your water up really hot. I mean, I have it in a property I have, and it's absolutely amazing. We never run out of hot water. We get a lot of sun here, so yeah.
Yes.
Well, Pedro, I mean, and I'm just going to touch on one last thing before I ask you the final question. You have quite a bit of experience in building, kind of, again, as you said there, kind of, homes for people, luxury homes here in Costa Rica, but also working in the residential condominium kind of subdividing area. I know that you have a residential property here in the city, and also you're looking to develop a condo complex here. How complicated is that process for somebody that wants to go through that? Because it's not an easy process, right?
No, it's not an easy process. That's why I think there's not a lot of private development companies in Costa Rica. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can think, oh, well, I buy a big land and I can, when someone is selling the land, they say, no, I have a big land and you can build here condos. Go ahead, you can build 100 condos. You're going to have a lot of money. And they don't realize that it's not like that. It's not like I make a plans and I go to the municipality and get the permits. No, it's a process. It depends of where you're buying the land, because the municipality has some rules, and sometimes the municipality has some restrictions also to make developments. So you have to please, first of all, before of development, is searching if the municipality and the land that you are buying and where you are located have the permits to do a development. Because not all the land has permits, and also some lands are easier and others are not to have it. And it's not easy, but if you are if you have someone that can help you through the process, it's going to be easier. Because you have to, first of all, you need water. So I think that's the first thing you have to search for, water. We have one project that is going very well because we have water, and we have another project that is, but we don't have water. So we are waiting for 3 hectares of land to be developed. We don't have water.
Yeah.
And there's not, sometimes here in Costa Rica, the public entity, the AIA, the Acueductos Alcantarillados, is very tough to get a negotiating with them. So we don't have water, and we don't have anything like open from that. So first of thing is water. The second thing is electricity. And also the third thing is where you are going to put that water you are receiving after using it, where you are going to send it. So you need also a permit to give that, like the water from the rain or the water from the treatment plant.
Yeah.
So, and also you need the environment check.
Yeah.
So you need a report and a person that can help you. That used to be a very tough process in Costa Rica, but now is going very nice. It's time because you have to do a study and everything with a professional, but it's easier now. It's not like very restrictive because the rules are more clear now, and the person has also more experience, so they can help you easily with that. And after that is just having all the design and the plans by the regulations, and you will have everything set. If you have a very good professional helping you out, it can be 6 months, 1 year. If you are in a place that you have water, it's going to be 6 months. It can be 6 months,
Yeah.
or maybe 1 year. But if you are in a place that they don't have water, you need to first go through that process. And it's not easy, but the good thing is that if you do that, you will have better returns if you buy just a house,
Yeah.
But I think any development, if they're from outside of Costa Rica and they want to do a development here, I know that it is not easy for a development, even outside of Costa Rica, do a development. I think also in the US they have a lot of different process they have to go through, and it's like the same. It's kind of time, but if you have a good project, you can go ahead and you will have a good profit also from that.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think anybody that just is going to look to subdivide land to build a residential community or a condominium community, when we say condominium, guys, it's not like tower blocks. It's kind of a little bit different. Subdivided land, they're just different. I would say categories of being able to subdivide the land. You just better be ready that you're going to be in it for the long haul, and it's going to cost. But like again, the returns could be very large. Well, Pedro, the last question I have for you, if you inherited $500,000 and you had to invest it into a business or real estate here, what would you do with it and why?
Well, because what I know, I will invest it in buying a land and develop that land.
Okay.
Because you have options. You can buy a house, you can buy two houses, you can buy 4 houses in the Guasima, you can buy a small condo in the beach,
Yep.
and you rent it. But from what I know about development and everything, I will buy land. I will have to see where, maybe in the city, because for that price, with 500, I can buy a larger lot in the city than in front of the beach.
Yep.
So I buy a land there and subdivide it or build apartments, ask for a loan, and develop and sell the property,
Awesome.
subdivide it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, I think you have the experience to do that. I personally, if I was to do it, I'd be asking you for help on that one. So, but Pedro,
I'm
I just
here
want
to
to
help.
Sorry?
I'm here to help.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, Pedro, this has been, very interesting. I think, listeners in here are going to be very interested to understand is, a little bit more about your process. So I'll put all your contact details here in the description. Again, these guys manage everything from the whole process, also recommendation for construction companies. And it's a very quick process. So Pedro, again, thanks very much for your time. And as I mentioned, anyone that wants to contact you, I'll put all the descriptions in all of your contact details in the description. And yeah, thanks very much for taking the time to speak to us.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you for the time.
No worries. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.